Hey, friend, welcome to the Playful Art and Heart podcast. I'm Janice, artist, founder of Hamletta Studios, and your friendly reminder that life is better when we make room to play. Around here, we talk about escaping overwhelm, putting ourselves first, and bringing more play, creativity, and heart into everyday life. It's part reflection, part pep talk, and a soft invitation to slow down, breathe, and play again. Hello and welcome back. Today I want to talk about individuality. We are all unique beings. Not a single one of us walking on this earth is like another person. But I find it very interesting that many of us walk on this world trying to be like other people, trying so hard to be like other people. And isn't that such a strange thing to think about? That we already know. We know that there is not another single human walking on this earth who is exactly like us. The you who is listening to this, you are a very special, unique individual. There is no one else like you. There is no one else. You are a one of a kind creation, and you are special and unique in your own way. Yet, as we grow up, we learn that it's just easier to fit in. It's easier to conform to what society expects of me. I should just do what everybody else is doing because that's just what everybody else is doing and it's working for them. So I'm going to do the same thing. But we are not here to shrink. See, being normal is not fun. Being normal is not the measure of a life well lived. To conform without question is to dim the brilliance that we were born with. And each and every single one of us was born with brilliance and amazing light that we want to shine. Yet, many of us do not give ourselves that permission to explore that, to lean into it, to develop it, to embrace it, and to eventually shine that light out into the world. So many of us were trained to stay small, to keep to ourselves, keep our heads down, not rock the boat, thinking that's the way to a life well lived. But I really don't believe that. And I think everyone at their core doesn't believe that. But it's so easy to give in and say, this is the easy thing to do, and to not have to deal with the consequences of embracing my brilliance, my talents, my gifts. And to that, I just feel so sad. I just feel so sad knowing that amazing potential that lives inside each and every one of us goes unfulfilled, untapped. For some people, that box to the potential that they have never even gets opened. And I truly do believe that if every single one of us walking on earth could embrace that brilliance, that unique gift that only you can share with the world, that the world would be a better place. If we could all understand how amazing each and every one of us are, this world would be a totally different place. I feel like we are called to shine authentically, to be ourselves. And honestly, that is the key to living a life well lived. To be so brutally honest with yourself about who you are, what you bring, how great you are, embracing that and allowing that power to guide you to leading a life where you shine. And I can understand that it can sound a little bit corny, but as I think about this, the more and more passionate I become to helping people find that light inside them because so many people walk around not realizing how much better life could be if they just simply embrace themselves to do that work to release the illusions of conformity and how that will bring about security. And one thing that I am always so passionate about is helping people find their joy and to follow their joy because I do feel like that is the pathway to figuring out your brilliance. There is something that each and every one of us is called to do. And if you don't give yourself permission to even have joy, then you are so far off the path to get to that end goal of meeting your potential and shining that light. You have to embrace not knowing and embrace the journey because no one can see into the future. But every single one of us has an innate tuition that can help guide us there. And, if you ask anybody what brings you joy, no two people are going to have the exact same answer because the things that bring us joy are clues. They are clues to help guide us on this journey. And joy is not frivolous. It should never be earned. You, by birthright, have the ability to feel joy and the permission to simply explore and be joyful and to embrace that. Following your joy is simply following your truth. And it does take courage. It takes courage to stand apart and to resist the pull of sameness. It's so much easier. It's just so much easier to just shrink and be just like everyone else and not put myself out there and do anything different than what I see other people do. Of course, it's easier. But the payoff, the end result is not good. It's just not as like the end result of living a life of conformity and normalcy just doesn't give you the fulfillment and purpose and meaning that I know all our lives carry. There's no way we were put on this earth to simply be normal and die. Like, I just don't believe it. Like, it's just not true. And I know every single one of us have had moments where it feels like heaven. Like, it just feels so good. Life just feels good. And then, of course, there are moments where life feels like hell. That's the normal human experience. We're able to feel all these feelings. And that is the beauty of being human, that we are able to feel all these feelings. I believe we have a shared responsibility to bring out the best in each other. Every single one of us. So powerful, so wonderful, so pure. Take your judgments aside. Stop any of that self deprecating talk. We were all born. And it is, unfortunately, the program that we have been given since we were born that leads us to believe that we are not meant for greatness, not meant to shine. Every one of us carry traumas that are unique to our own families. There are things in family life that make it difficult to shine, makes it difficult to be yourself. You were probably punished for being yourself at some point, and you learn that being yourself is dangerous, that you need to hide your true self. in order to get a pat on the head, but you're not a child anymore. You have the ability to hold that image of you as a child in your mind. You can go to her and tell her she's okay, that it's okay to be you again. It's okay to be yourself. Take her to a room where she is safe, where she can talk and tell you all about the exciting thing that's lighting her up in her life right now. Without any judgment, simply watching her be so excited about whatever she is talking about because she's living without inhibitions, without the programming of being told that she's too much or I don't want to hear it, that I don't like this, stop talking, why can't you be like so and so? All these comments that many of us have heard in childhood. Feel the pain that your inner child felt, being told that being you is not enough, that being you is too much, that being you, why can't you be like your brother? Why can't you be like your sister? Why can't you be like your cousin? Why? Why can you not be like them? That comparison trap of being told that you are not enough. Look at so and so. Why can't you do that? So and so is going to medical school. They're going to be a doctor. Great. If that's the path that's meant for them, great. So many people take a path, hit midlife, and realize that that's not the path I want to be on anymore. I hate it here. What do you mean I gotta be here? Everything inside me is screaming, I don't want to be here anymore. I don't like this. I'm getting trapped. I've got responsibilities now. I've got people relying on me. I can't just leave. And that is the danger of not being ourselves. We will get led down a path that was never meant for us, leading us down a path of a life that is only a fraction of how good it could be. There is a timeline out there of you living your best life, reaching your full potential, bringing your brilliance into the world, shining so bright, and you are so joyful, so deeply fulfilled because life has meaning, life has purpose, life feels right, things are in flow. That's the reality that we should all be striving for. And we can't get there. There's just like no way out of it. We cannot get there without knowing ourselves. So, knowing ourselves is step one. Allowing yourself to play, to feel joy, to find the things that truly make you happy, and to follow that and trust that it will work out. I'm still on my own journey. I haven't figured it out, but the more I am on this journey, the more sure I am that this is the right path, that I don't want to go backwards. I don't want to go back to that timeline where I am normal. There was a time in my life where I just wanted to be normal. I just like wanted to be like everyone else. Why is it so hard to be like everyone else? And now in hindsight, I can tell 22-year-old me, you don't want to be like anyone else. If I had embraced my full self at a younger age, I wouldn't be at this point in my life where I feel like I need to figure out who I am really. But the longer I am on this journey of discovering me, the more I love myself, the more I realize how wrong I've had it, how wrong my beliefs have been. So I used to get really, really upset that I didn't own a house, like ridiculously upset. And I got a lot of pressure from my mother. who kept telling me I had to buy a house, I had to buy a house, I had to buy a house. But I didn't have the money to buy a house. And it was just this never ending argument that we would have about needing to achieve this thing that would finally make everything better. And then I achieved it. And like, I was happy, yes, but it wasn't like fulfillment happy. I was happy to get my mother off my back. And I realized that these little goals that were driving me crazy, making me sad and upset, doesn't really mean anything. What does it mean to own a house? I can't take that with me when I die. That's not actually owning, doesn't actually belong to me. And when I started living in this new house of ours, it was in a new city, and I had to meet people in order to make friends, which I struggled greatly, struggled so greatly because I didn't feel normal. I'm not originally from here. I'm like from a big city, and I couldn't relate. I was still learning to be like a suburban mom. I couldn't find my people. I couldn't find the people who could understand my point of view. I really did struggle. And I thought, oh, what's wrong with me? What's wrong with me? Why can't I just be normal? Look how other people have friends here, and how come I can't just fit in? And then at some point, I decided to give up. I decided to say, I'm just not going to try that hard anymore. I would have leads on like, making friends. Like, oh, when you meet someone and you want to hang out with them, but it just most of the time didn't pan out. It didn't pan out, and I was really frustrated. But that's also when I started to begin this journey of figuring out who I am, of embracing my authenticity. Just, you know, never been one to try really hard to make people like me. So like in this situation where I couldn't seem to find a friend, no part of me wanted to actually change me. I would question why I can't be normal, but no part of me is actively trying to change me in order to get what I want. And I think that's just part of who I am. I just don't change myself for the sake of other people. I've never been one to do that. I didn't care about popularity in school. I didn't care whether or not I was well liked. I just knew I was myself, and I didn't want to be like other people. And if people didn't like me, then so be it. I will slog through it. But I was not going to change who I am to fit in. I just don't believe in it. And I've come to realize that is a part of who I am, that I know who I am to a degree, right? Like I'm able to embrace me and not apologize for being me. And I also have this standard of where I'm not going to change who I am for anybody. And I've come to really appreciate that about myself. And I know that there is something like that for you, for everybody. Things that kind of just make us us. And you'll look back and realize the patterns and realize that it's always been there. That version of you, like your higher self coming into play. Like I can imagine it was like my higher self telling me, you don't need to change yourself. You don't need to change you. You're good enough. I didn't realize you're good enough part. I just thought, "Ugh, I'm not changing myself. Like that's ridiculous. How can I change myself? I'm me. And I've never been one to be fake. And I can't hide. I can't hide behind fakeness. It's just not who I am. And I know that I cannot hide my feelings. My my face just shows my feelings. 100%. I cannot hide my true feelings. It's hard. Anyway, all that is to say that when we embrace us, when we connect to our inner voice and rediscover the truth and learn to trust ourselves again and play and awaken the joy and curiosity inside us and express what's inside us and life in a way where we're just living our truth, that is the best thing we can do in our lifetime here. Because I truly believe that when we become and embrace that powerful version of us, magic happens. We all have magic. What is yours? What is mine? And that's what I am pursuing. I'm trying to find what that magic is. And I have an inkling and I'm following my clues and I'm living my life, following my clues. I continue to play and find joy in things that I like. And I try to stay true to me and not let outside voices turn me, take me off the path that I am on right now. So, in conclusion, I think we all deserve more than a normal life. We deserve to shine, to bring light, to live as the extraordinary beings that we are. Don't fall into the conformity trap. Embrace your authentic self and use joy as your compass and courage as your guide as you go on this journey. Thank you so much for joining me for this episode of the Playful Art and Heart podcast. I truly hope something we discussed today resonated with you and helped inspire a little more gratitude and presence in your week. If you enjoyed this episode, please do two things for me. First, if you haven't already, please hit that follow or subscribe button right now. And second, taking just 2 minutes to leave a rating and a review helps this podcast reach more beautiful hearts who are also trying to live a more present and authentic life. To find all the resources we mentioned today, including the journal prompt and affirmation, links to my art studio, and a whole lot more, be sure to check out the show notes for this episode. You can also visit my website at hamlettastudios.com to explore my work and join my newsletter. That is the best place to get exclusive updates, behind-the-scenes content, and fun inspiration delivered straight to your inbox. Remember to stay playful and keep creating and keep choosing to grow. Until next time, be well